Milo suffered from urinary incontinence on the day his first love came to see him. He lost face and got so angry that he threw the urinal at me. Get lost. I really regret marrying you. Even my son blames me. How come you can't even be a good nanny? No wonder Dad wants to give all the inheritance to Aunt Zhang. I looked at my old and haggard face, thought about the life I had worked hard day and night, and finally woke up. I don't want this home that doesn't belong to me. Milo's Alzheimer's disease is getting worse. Feed him as usual. But he refused to take a nap and insisted on finding a pair of gold bracelets. That's what I prepared for Elodie when I was young. My name is Elodie. Elodie is the nickname Milo gave me when we were young. Ever since he fell ill, he has forgotten me. At this moment, seeing how emotional he was, I lied. Yes, old man, I'll go back and get it for you. When we got married, he was penniless and we couldn't even have a wedding. Not to mention these gold and silver jewelry. After coaxing him to sleep, I went to the window to pay the medical bills as usual. Milo fell ill. I sold our wedding house and raised money for his treatment. Now I rummaged through the meager money in my pocket and decided to scrape together enough to buy a pair of bracelets. I came back with the kettle on the way, but I hadn't reached the ward door yet. Then I heard Milo's laughter mixed with a woman's sweet voice. He called her Esme. A few steps to the ward, I lifted my legs, but they felt as heavy as 1,000 pounds. Through the transparent glass, Milo took off his hospital gown and put on a suit. He carefully took something out of the drawer and handed it to the woman opposite him. His first love, Esme. Milo carefully lifted the cloth, and in the sunlight a pair of gold bracelets sparkled. The light almost burned my eyes, making me look like a clown. Turns out that bracelet really exists. Milo said, "This is what I prepared when I was going to marry you. Unfortunately, I never gave it away in my lifetime." Esme, who was standing by, was wearing a cheongsam and had her hair tied up. She was so moved that she covered her mouth. Time has been kind to her and has left no trace on her. Seeing that she didn't accept it, Milo dragged himself up. He hugged the woman in his arms, his expression more affectionate than ever before. Esme patted his shoulder and pushed him away. "Fengqing, you already have Elodie. This is not good." The next moment Milo sneered without any hesitation. "Esme, I have never loved her in my life. She's not even qualified to be your substitute. After being together for half a lifetime, this is the first time I realize that he is so heartless. Intellectually speaking, they are already an old couple, so it doesn't matter whether they love each other or not." But I couldn't stop crying. The more I wiped, the more I cried. Milo every day since he was hospitalized. Even though he always had an expression of disgust and indifference towards me. When he lost control of his emotions, he even shouted in front of the medical staff that he regretted marrying me. I just thought he couldn't recognize me because of his illness. Unexpectedly, he just spoke his true thoughts. "Yes, I am not even worthy of being a substitute, and have never been loved in my life." Just as I was in a trance, Zhao Wanji frowned and covered her nose with her hand. "What's that smell?" Looking at Milo's stiff expression, she quickly realized the source of the stench. Milo is incontinent. Out of long-standing habit, I reflexively pushed open the door and rushed to the bed. Milo stayed where he was, his face darkening, and he suddenly pushed me away like crazy. He overturned the hot water and it burned my arms, hands, and thighs. It was shocking. However, this is not enough. The next moment he angrily threw the urinal at me, attracting the attention of everyone in the ward. "Get away. Don't touch me. Who told you to meddle in other people's business? Do I need you to do anything here? Have you already looked down on me? I'm not disabled yet." Seeing the hatred in his eyes, I completely broke down. "Yes, I was meddling in other people's business, so I rushed to bring you food and take care of you. I didn't dare to sleep in the middle of the night because I was afraid that you would need someone to take care of you." I was venting my emotions hysterically, but Milo's eyes were glued to Zhao Wanji the whole time. Seeing the woman express her concern for him, "Fengqing, it's okay. You're just sick." Just because Zhao Wanji coaxed him with a few words, he completely relaxed and his expression softened. Only then did I understand that Milo had been arrogant all his life. She felt embarrassed in front of her lover, and had nowhere to vent her anger, so she took it out on me. "You're like a bitch. Could you please stop being so embarrassing?" My miserable appearance was reflected in his old eyes. For so many years I was the one who poured the urine and mopped the floor. He only admired Esme's elegance. But he forgot that before we got married I was also an educated college student. I have a pair of beautiful hands and I can play the piano and write. Later those hands became more and more rough with wrinkles and scars. It is used to wash dishes, cook meals, and pull children. But who did I become like this for? Since you two are the true love from now on, I don't want to be your wife anymore. After leaving the hospital, I walked aimlessly on the street for a long time, and then went into a shopping mall. In the past years when I was taking care of the housework, the only things I had to deal with were the vegetable market and various vegetables. There is no extra money at home, and I no longer buy myself new clothes. Auntie, come in and take a look. The young salesgirl introduced the new products in the store to me intimately. Looking at the woman in the mirror, she took off her old-fashioned clothes and finally looked energetic. I looked at the label 800 yuan. I gritted my teeth and decided to pay the bill using the money I had originally intended to buy the bracelet. At this time his son Zhao called. Mom, I know about what happened between you and Dad. Dad was definitely wrong. I will teach him a lesson when I get back. His indignant tone on the phone warmed my heart. At least I still have my son. Hello, would you like to pay? The cashier asked. Zhao just happened to speak hesitantly. Oh, by the way, Mom, the company is having a hard time making ends meet lately, and Xiaobao also needs to go to school. Xiaokua, if you need anything, just tell me and I'll pass it on to you. The hesitation just now disappeared completely and I finally took off my clothes. Sorry, I won't buy it yet. My son and his wife came back with Xiaobao in the evening. After dinner I washed the dishes as usual. When I returned to the bedroom, Xiaobao had already dragged the box out of the closet and opened it. Grandma, I want to find a toy. Milo never lets me touch this box. I squatted down and took a closer look, and I was surprised to see the thick diaries on the ground. After accidentally seeing the first page, I was completely frozen in place. Being married for many years, Milo never said sweet words to me, but he wrote countless sentences in his diary. I got married on March 21st, 1970. Wanji cried so hard that it made me sad. That woman was so easy to deceive. She believed me when I said I was on a business trip. This line is so powerful that it can be seen through the back of the paper. The traces of the handwriting being stained by tears and then dried are obvious. Back then I went to the countryside as a college student and performed outstandingly. Milo, who had always been indifferent to me, confessed his love to me. In that era people were strict and I was forced to marry him. But on our wedding night he left me and went into the city overnight. I numbly turned the yellowed old pages and continued reading, page after page. Every word revolves around his lover. Wanji refused to see me. All I could do was to send her my salary every month as compensation. That was in 1975, and the family was in financial difficulty. Milo only gave me $5 a month and asked me to be responsible for the food and accommodation of the whole family. It turned out that while I was getting darker and older due to the scorching sun, he was buying new skirts for other women at 40 each. I have never received such a precious gift in my life, not even once. In 1976, Wanji gave birth to a child for me after much hardship, but I couldn't let the child ruin her reputation. Seeing this, the string in my mind completely broke. After being married for many years, I have also said that I want to have a child, but he said he wanted to live a platonic love life with me, and let my mother-in-law scold me as a hen that doesn't lay eggs. In the third year of their marriage, Milo brought Zhao back home, saying only that he was an abandoned baby, but I still treated him as my own son and raised him with all my heart. In the end, the husband and son I loved belonged to someone else. From the beginning I was never loved. I put down those diaries, no longer able to look back at their sweet past. It took almost all my strength to pick up the will at the bottom of the box with trembling hands and open it. Half of the money was left to his son, and the other half was used for Esme's retirement. As for me, I only have an old and dilapidated house that has long been sold. Not giving up, I picked up my reading glasses and searched the paper again and again. But no, there simply isn't. On the third day I still didn't go to the hospital. Esme updated her circle of friends with a photo of her and Milo basking in the sun. Caption: young girls nowadays are so sweet. They gave us flowers and wished us a long and happy marriage. Their love is so touching. I turned off my phone indifferently and went to the hospital. He took out all the medical expenses reserved at the window. When I arrived at the ward, it was bustling inside. Through the glass door, Milo and Esme were so intimate that they were almost kissing each other. The young grandson shouted, "Grandma, Grandpa, kiss me." "Shame on you," Esme asked cautiously. "Today is also Elodie's birthday. I wonder if she would mind if you guys are here with me. I've already bought some cheap goods. I can just explain that I'm working overtime and it'll be over. If it weren't for the money she has, I wouldn't bother dealing with that crazy woman." Oh, it turns out that in Zhao's eyes I am just a crazy woman who is of use. I looked up and saw the person reflected in the glass door of the kitchen. Old face, gray hair and hunched back. Where did my youth disappear? I ran all over the village and kowtowed to borrow money to pay for my son's college tuition. Later when we got married I used up all my savings to prepare for the wedding house and car. When my grandson was born they were busy with work, so I was the one who took care of him and raised him. But when Xiaobao caught a cold, Zhao Kuo blamed me for being negligent in taking care of the child while Milo sat on the sofa, as if it had nothing to do with him, and blamed me for not cooking yet. Over the years I have given everything for this family. In the end, in their minds I deserved nothing more than suffering. I leaned against the door frame for a long time before I opened the door and went in. The light of the setting sun shone on his high brow bones and Milo raised his head proudly. You are not capable, but you come back to serve me in shame. I turned on the light in the room and looked at him coldly. Milo was clearly getting impatient. Stop dawdling and help me cut the cake. Your hands and feet are not as nimble as the babysitter. In the past, even if it was an order like this, I would rush forward. Zhao Kuo immediately let go of Esme's hand. Mom, why are you here? Milo said nonchalantly. What are you afraid of? What can she do? It's Wanzi's birthday, so you can just take a picture for us. I ignored him and packed my things quickly. Milo stood up and directly pulled out the pillow of the four, leaving behind some harsh words. Okay, if you're brave enough, I won't treat this disease anymore. I want to be discharged from the hospital. In the past, when he was depressed because of his illness, I begged him again and again to get good treatment. At that time I said, Fengqing, I will cure you even if I have to sell everything I have. But now I put the last of my belongings away, zipped up my bag and stood up. Milo, you are the blood family. I dare not disturb you. I spoke with difficulty, my voice hoarse. Milo heard what I said. The expression on his face froze completely. You, what are you talking about? I told you not to look through my things. As expected, even when you grow old, you will still be a rough and unrefined countrywoman who is not presentable in your life. He was so angry that his face turned red and he looked at me. Gradually more and more people gathered at the door of the ward. I am suspicious. Is the will fake or is the diary fake? I straightened my back and sneered. You left all your property to your mistress outside, and even your son was born to her. Do you think you are worthy of me? Seeing Esme's eyes turn red, Milo suddenly stood up and slapped me. Pa, Elodie, I've had enough of you. Don't even think about insulting Wanji. I've known her since we were young, so what's wrong with us being a little closer as close friends? Don't look at me like that. Let me tell you, even if I had a child with her, it doesn't matter. You've already raised him for so many years. You're of no use to me now. If you want to get out of here, get out of here now. I've had enough of unreasonable country bumpkins like you. I feel sick when I look at you for even a second. As he spoke, he started coughing. My son and daughter-in-law looked at me reproachfully. Dad is already sick. What's wrong with you letting him go? Zhao Kuo also stopped pretending and pushed me away with disgust. No wonder Dad likes someone else and not you. Originally, I just wanted a reasonable explanation. As long as he tells me the hidden truth and explains it, I will continue to be such an idiot. But now I know that the decades of affection between us has completely ended. Milo, let's get a divorce. I looked him in the eyes and spoke. As for my son, I don't want him either. Milo didn't react and was stunned for a long time. Divorce? Humph. Where can you go without me? Do you have a home? He always looked down on me, but this time I smashed the chamber pot on his bed and walked away without looking back. Without any nostalgia, I went straight back to my hometown. Before I reached home, I heard the girl's voice from afar. Aunt. I squinted my presbyopic eyes and saw that it was my niece Song Xinyan. Hey, Inyan, why are you here to see your aunt? She came in carrying bags of gifts and sat down. He smiled and spoke when I asked him. Grandpa passed away, and the house he left for you is being demolished. There is 2 million in demolition compensation. Looking at the bank card handed to me, tears blurred my eyes. When I married Milo, I stayed in the country completely. In a fit of anger, the old man severed all ties with me. When I left the Song family, you were only 5 years old and liked to hold my hand and buy me candies. I held her hand and chatted with her casually. I am unfilial. I didn't even see him after he passed away. But your grandfather probably doesn't want to see me either. When I received the notice that my father was critically ill, I asked my son to buy a plane ticket to Beijing overnight, because I didn't know how to use a smartphone to make a call. But at that time Zhao Kuo questioned me. Mom, my wife just gave birth to a son. Would it be unlucky for you to attend the funeral? Besides, Fear gone. What will happen to Ping Ping during her confinement? I was unexpectedly resolute that time, but Milo put down the brush, picked up the hot tea I had prepared and poured it directly on me. He mocked me. Elodie, can you tell the difference between the important and the unimportant? No wonder your family cut off all ties with you. Who in the world would want to have anything to do with someone like you? That night I rushed to the airport and begged passersby to help me change my ticket, but because we were a few hours late, the old man had already passed away when we arrived. After experiencing the pain of losing my father, no one in my family paid any attention to me. They ate the food I cooked as usual and enjoyed everything I made. They think I will always behave myself and pretend nothing happened. Aunt, are you not doing well? We have missed you all these years. We have immigrated. Would you like to go abroad with me? Seeing that I didn't say anything, she paused. I know this has been your home for all these years, and you have feelings for them, but if they really treat you well, why do they make you work so hard? My niece's eyes fell on my hands, a pair of hands that were overworked and extremely rough. Even she could see it, but Milo never saw it. Some people with hard hearts are destined to never be warmed up. Good. I held my niece's hand and agreed decisively. That's great, Auntie. You finally figured it out. But don't let them cheat you out of that money again. I understood her concerns and agreed. Don't worry, Auntie has seen through them. All the years and efforts before were just wasted. Aunt, it will take about a month for the visa to come out. During this time, you can pack your things and say goodbye to your old friends. After returning from my hometown, I temporarily rented an apartment in a high-end residential area. When Zhaoque called me on video, I was eating the abalone my niece bought for me. As soon as the phone was picked up, Milo snatched it away. On the screen he snorted heavily. No need to ask her. I can just die without taking the medicine. Zhaoque asked me anxiously, Mom, where did you put Dad's medicine? I sat on the chair without moving, scooped up a spoonful, and continued to put it into my mouth. Zhaoque frowned and spoke. Mom, Dad is like this. How can you still enjoy yourself here? Besides, the family's financial situation is not very good now. Milo scolded me. You're still imitating the way young people order food. Are you too lazy? Your children work so hard, and you're still spending money lavishly. He rightfully condemned me, but the fact was that after all these years of marriage, I had never spent a penny of his money. Instead, I used my dowry from my parents' home to subsidize the entire family. I thought my son didn't know the truth, so I didn't argue with him. After slowly finishing a whole bowl of abalone, I formally informed him. 3 days later, I got the divorce certificate. Do you want to continue making trouble? Mom, are you kidding me? Milo and his son spoke at the same time. Milo looked up at me as if he had heard a huge joke. Elodie, don't you feel ashamed to be sensible in front of the children? I think you are the one who is embarrassed. After saying that, I decisively hung up the phone and sent the diary I took to the group. No one said anything. I sent the will to the group again. The news spread instantly. Human nature is like this. People tend to turn a blind eye to things that do not concern them, but when interests are involved, one will change his face. The first person to speak was Milo's brother. What's the point of a will? Fengqing, is it moral for you to do this? You gave everything to an outsider. That's right. Our Minmin at least calls you uncle. After sending it, I decisively turned off my phone and had a comfortable sleep. I was square dancing when Milo found me in a rage. When he saw clearly the dance partner next to me, his brows were tightly knitted together in anger. Am not dead yet. Well, you immoral bitch. You're hugging and cuddling with someone else here. Right. Zhaoque just called me by my full name. Elodie, an old woman like you is really not worthy of being my mother. Everyone, come and see. He wants a divorce because he doesn't want to pay for my dad's illness. Passersby in the square were quickly attracted. People who don't know the truth might really believe what he said. I took out my cell phone slowly. Milo's expression changed quickly. Elodie, do you think calling the police will help? We are still husband and wife. This is a family matter. He really guessed wrong. I opened the recording software and played the words they said in celebrating their birthday that night. The corners of Zhaoque's mouth that were raised suddenly drooped. Why is he such a person who blames others for his own mistakes? No wonder he got sick. This is retribution. Milo started coughing violently in anger and stared at me. Elodie, divorce, just what I wanted. Milo and I came out of the Civil Affairs Bureau. He cursed me and never had anything to do with me again. Naturally, I didn't take it seriously. I have enough money to take care of my health, so he should be the one who is worried. As the days became more leisurely, I began to say goodbye to my old friends one by one. I returned to the old neighborhood again to visit my former neighbors and friends. When Milo was angry and kicked me out of the house in the middle of the night, only Guifeng took me in. Milo Hedon. When Zhaoque saw me dressed in this outfit, he stared at me for several seconds before he recognized me. Mom, were you kicked by that old man? Milo turned his head away and didn't look at me arrogantly. After a few seconds, he spoke as if to give alms. Okay, considering that you are homeless and want to come back so much, I will reluctantly agree. Let's see how you perform first. The room needs to be cleaned and swept, and 3 meals a day need to be prepared and sent to the hospital. Your daughter-in-law has given birth to a second child, and no one is there to take care of it, so you are needed at this time. Zhaoque took out the key and opened the door. As soon as the door opened a crack, I smelled a foul odor. The smell of expired food mixed with the smell of the toilet was very complex and foul. Even standing outside the door, you can see how dirty and messy it is inside. The floor was littered with children's toys unpicked up. I sneered. So you need a nanny? Why, Esme won't do it. Milo pointed at my nose and cursed. Wanji doesn't need to do this kind of work. Elodie, are you worthy enough to be compared with her? I advise you to be more sensible. I was too lazy to respond and turned to leave. Zhaoque quickly told him to shut up and then came over to stop me. Mom, I regret what I said before. My dad just doesn't know how to express his love. You've been together for so many years. How could he not love you? And Xiaobao is so young. How could you be so selfish and just leave like that? Zhaoque accused me of being selfish. Guifeng came out at this time carrying some local specialties. She always had a loud voice. Awan, take these specialties with you when you go abroad. After seeing Milo and his son, Guifeng lowered her voice, but they still heard it. Going abroad? Why are you pretending? Do you have money? Milo obviously took this as a joke and didn't believe it. In the end, it was Guifeng's son who protected me and allowed me to leave there safely. With 1 week left before leaving the country, I started to deal with the old and dilapidated house I owned. But on this day, the buyer called me. There are 2 people here who want leave. Come over and take a look. When I arrived, I saw Zhaoque lying on the sofa in the living room in a domineering manner. When he saw me, his eyes lit up instantly. Mom, I heard you were going to sell your house. It just so happens that I don't have enough money to buy a house in the school district for Xiaobao. He was calculating with a shrewd look on his face. I let go of his hand and smiled. Before, Xiaobao was my grandson, so of course I would support him. But now, we have no relationship at all. Zhaoque knelt down and performed a self-torture trick. Mom, we really have no choice. We can't be so heartless. Seeing that I was calm, he finally couldn't help it and pushed me away in anger. He was so strong that I fell to the ground. How can you be a mother like this? How will Xiaobao go to school if you do this? I see. Just because I'm not your biological son, you still hold a grudge against me. Esme came out of the bedroom and chimed in. Elodie, how can you be so selfish? Even if Zhaoque is not your biological son, he has at least called you his mother for more than 20 years. I stood up from the ground and clapped my hands. Yes, I have raised Zhaoque for more than 20 years. Where is your biological mother? Since you are not selfish and you are great, it's your turn to contribute now. Esme's face turned pale and blue. As far as I know, long after getting married to Milo, she secretly sold her property to support her 2 sons born to her ex-husband. So naturally I am speechless now. But Zhaoque didn't know, he said proudly. Of course, my mother will help me. Blood is thicker than water. Understand? From now on, I cut off all ties with you. You are no longer my mother. I no longer feel the pain I felt when I first found out I was deceived. All I feel now is relief. As I turned to leave, I coughed again because of my cold. Zhaoque immediately pulled Xiaobao back, fearing that I would infect them with the germs. Well, since you are selfish, don't blame me for being unfilial. It doesn't matter if you have money. If you have no children, you won't even have anyone to see you off when you get old. Xiaobao also followed suit and spit at me. Humph, bad guy. Grandma said you are a bad guy. Hey, good boy. Grandma will hold you. Esme gave me a provocative look and opened her hand towards Xiaobao. Xiaobao excitedly jumped into Esme's arms. They already know where I live. In order to have some leisure time after packing my luggage, I signed up for a tour group to Iceland to see the northern lights. When I was young, I had no money and no time. The money was spent on them, father and son, and so was their time. Once I really thought that I would be trapped in that small world for the rest of my life, but at that time I was really willing. Now as I watch the volcano erupting in the distance and the gorgeous aurora shining on me, I realize how big the world is, and how much it is worth seeing. The message in my pocket vibrates. It was a warning from Milo. Elodie, if you know what's best for your son, I will remarry you. This is the first time I see Milo willing to give someone a way out. Strange, but there is hell below the stairs, who cares? The next one is Xiaoqua. If you buy a house in Xiaobeo's school district, I will still call you mom. Otherwise, even if you die of illness in the hospital, no one will collect your body. How funny. Just one medical record can reveal two ungrateful people. I decisively blocked both of them. A fellow traveler invited me to take a photo with him, and I gladly agreed. I picked up my phone and took a photo with the aurora. When I opened the album and scrolled up, the album was full of Xiaobao in them. There's no point in keeping these people taking up memory, so I clicked delete. From now on I will point the camera at myself and record my new life. Before turning off the phone, I posted a 9-square grid with Iceland as the location. After traveling for a month, I returned home. When I took a taxi home, Xiaoqua suddenly showed up. Dad has been sent to emergency room, and you still have the mood to travel with a man outside. He reached out and poked me in the nose. Get out of the way. If I remember correctly, we are no longer related. Even if he dies of illness, it has nothing to do with me. Looking at my rosy face and fashionable outfit, Xiaoqua was stunned for a second. The house was demolished for 2 million, and you embezzled it without telling me. Yeah, what's wrong? That's my money. Xiaoqua, you are so proud of being a parasite. Then go find your biological mother, and do the same to her. Xiaoqua directly choked me. Dad is right. You are selfish. If you hadn't interfered, he and my mom would have been together a long time ago. As he spoke excitedly, he pulled out a knife from his arms. I don't care. You have to hand over the money today. Looking at his crazy and stupid appearance, I just felt hateful and ridiculous. You're so excited. Is it Esme who took the money? Isn't she a good mother to you? What I said came true, and Xiaoqua loosened his hand holding the knife. The property management staff I called over subdued him on the spot. Call the police. I waved. Xiaoqua finally realized what he had done, and he looked at me with red eyes. Mom, can you really bear to do this to me? You raised me little by little. Why do you say I have no feelings for you? I just didn't know how to judge people, and I made a mistake. Can't you forgive me just once? In the past I wouldn't let him suffer even the slightest bit, let alone cry. But the premise of all this is that he is my son. My son is dead from the moment you disown me. Do you understand? Xiaoqua was eventually detained by the police for 15 days. Before I left the detention center, he banged on the glass door excitedly. But I won't care. The last time I saw Milo was on the day I went abroad. He became skinny and pale and sat in a wheelchair. I was dressed elegantly and dragging my luggage to hail a taxi on the roadside. No one would ever associate us with each other. Milo's eyes lit up when he saw it was me. Elodie, hurry up and get your son released. You can make a fuss, but what will happen to your son if he has a criminal record? I covered my nose and took a step back. In the past I changed and washed his clothes several times a day, so there was naturally no odor. But now the stinky smell is unbearable for passersby. Catching my movements, he actually looked hurt. Who are you talking about? He even had the patience to remind me. Have you forgotten our son? Aqua. Of course I didn't forget. That's your son. He made a mistake and was detained by the police. What does it have to do with me? He didn't dare to look into my eyes, and when he avoided my gaze he happened to see the luggage in my hand. Where are you going? I've seen it. You've been seeing someone else outside without telling me. Right, that's why you didn't come back. Milo looked angry. People who cheat look at everyone with tinted glasses. Right. I adjusted my sunglasses and stopped looking at him. His old haggard eyes gradually turned red. I was wrong. I thought I loved Esme. That woman, she deceived me and maliciously took away all my property and gave it to her son. I didn't know people well enough. Awan, please stop arguing with me. Okay, come back. This was the first time I heard Milo beg someone in such a humble manner. Then I'll tell you clearly for the last time that we have no relationship anymore. From now on, we will go our separate ways. Please have some shame. The taxi arrived and stopped in front of me. I passed Milo and got in the car. He suddenly became agitated and tried to push his wheelchair over to stop me. Unfortunately, the movements are clumsy and difficult. I got in the car without stopping. As the car drove away, in the rearview mirror, Milo's wheelchair fell to the ground due to his anxiety, looking extremely miserable. The scenery flew by and gradually even his shouts were forgotten. Before the plane took off, I received a call from Xiaoqua. Apparently Milo informed him, "Mom, you're going abroad. Are you going to abandon me and Dad?" "Mom, it's fine if you're just throwing a tantrum, but what do you expect when Dad, who never bows his head, apologizes to you? If you don't come back, Ping Ping and I will be busy with work. So who will take care of the children?" A series of questions all centered around themselves. Roll. I pulled out the calling card. The plane took off and clouds were floating outside the window. I covered myself with a blanket and had a good sleep. When the plane arrived in California, my niece came to pick me up. After resting there for a week, I went to study at the Senior Citizens University. Entering the classroom again made me read. I gave up, for Milo finally came back at the end of the year. One day when I got home, my niece handed me the phone. "It's Xiaoqua." On the video call, Milo spoke laboriously while holding the phone. Awan, can you please listen to me?" Xiaoqua threw the food directly at him. "Eat it if you want. All your money has been swindled away, and I've done my best by still supporting you. Hurry up and finish the call, there are so many things to do. Unless you get some money back from that old woman, don't even think about having a good life." Looking at this scene, I couldn't help but sigh. They really are natural father and son with the closest blood relationship, and even their indifference is exactly the same. For the sake of money, Xiaoqua could even speak harshly to his biological father, who was lying on the hospital bed. Milo was dying. I had a private conversation with Elodie. "I just feel disgusted when I hear this name. Elodie, I'm sorry. I cheated on you and did everything to let you down. Can you come and see me so I can apologize to you in person? Last night, I dreamed of you again. When I woke up, I was wearing this sweater that you sewed for me. Do you remember?" He was lost in memories with a very happy look on his face. At first I stayed up late with a lamp on to knit a sweater for him, but he despised me. Now a belated apology is cheaper than grass. I didn't indulge him and directly exposed his lies. "Milo, you are just greedy for my kindness because Esme refused to bring you a basin to wipe your body, refused to take care of you, and even took away your money, so you remembered my kindness. My name is Elodie. Elodie is the nickname Milo gave me when we were young." Swatsong, there were tears sliding down his cheeks. After a few seconds of silence, the call was hung up. When I came back from class the next day, my niece told me that Milo was gone. There was still a possibility of treatment, but Xiaoqua was unwilling to pay the money. Because no one was willing to take him away, the call was made here. As for Xiaoqua, in order to get the money back from Esme, he stabbed Esme's son several times with a knife and was sent to prison. 2 years later, I successfully graduated from the Senior University in California. My niece married her boyfriend of many years and became pregnant, and our family welcomed a new member. From then on, everything became lively, and I began the rest of my happy life.